Hi, I'm Nathan Howe. I'm the Department Head of Interior Architecture and Industrial Design. And I want to talk to you a little bit about our Master's of Industrial Design degree. It's a 5-year master's, which means when you come in as a freshman, 5 years later, you can get your master's degree. Or you can transfer in, or if you have another degree at another institution, you can come in and 3 to 2 years later, you can also get that master's degree. So what is industrial design? Industrial design is, well, every product that you pick up at any store needs to be designed by somebody. And that designer is oftentimes an industrial designer. So what they do is basically look at the project, try to figure out where they're going to innovate, and then try to figure out how they're going to make it better for you as a consumer. So our students, they design kitchen appliances, consumer goods, consumer electronic goods, and who knows what, self-transportation devices to the interiors of cars, to shoes, you name it, our students are going to design it. And the beautiful thing about industrial design is that we really believe that the students need to learn how to put the thing together, how to think about the manufacturing process, how to think about that manufacturing process so it's more sustainable. So not only are they designing a product that's going to work better for you, but they're actually going to design a project that's going to be better for the environment in general. So maybe I should show you some projects. Come on, follow me. So one of the projects that our students have done is a self-transportation device. What you can see here is the design teams really thinking about how they might move more quickly across the campus. And so they not only prototyped, you can see a lot of the prototypes here of different things that out of cardboard to eventually get into actually welding, crafting wood and plastics, 3D printing, you name it, they did it to actually execute a working prototype. So our students are not only thinking about how to innovate the product, but actually how to execute it. We have another thing I want to show you over here. So as part of our industrial design degree, we also have a furniture design sequence. And in that sequence, we really get the students, again, into the shop to really think about how things are made, how things are put together, how to make the products even better by learning how to execute them. So you can see some amazing furniture pieces, from chairs to desks, soft seating, wardrobes, shelving, you name it. Our students are custom designing it. And it's really important that we get the students into the shop because they really learn how materials come together. And not only how they come together, but how they feel, how our body interacts with it. How they sit. Are they comfortable? Do they do the things that they are supposed to do? Do they do them well? So along those lines, let me show you one more project. So I want to introduce you to RU. RU is a project that was designed here at K-State. It was in concert with a furniture manufacturer called OFS out of Indiana. OFS gave us project briefs. In this case, it was an occasional table that was supposed to become a family. You might notice, here's the family of RU. Now, RU is prototyped here, it's designed here, and at the end of May, our 5th year design teams pitched the product to OFS. And in this case, OFS decided to take it to the marketplace. They picked it up. And so a year after they graduated, our students were winning national and professional awards that professionals would covet. And they were not only doing that, but this thing was going to the marketplace and being sold across the country. And those designers, a year out of school, were getting royalties. So this could be you in a few years. So I want to thank you and enjoy the rest of the video. I know our students have a great fun time for you because I think you're supposed to choose your own character at this point.
now we're heading in the studio. We're going to start a new project, and pretty much what we're going to do is meet up with our professor, and he's going to start off the design process with a project brief. And here he's just giving us the basic information about what we're designing, different things to consider about it, and then from there we're going to jumpstart into the research phase, and then onto ideation, prototyping, and then the final design.
Right, guys, we're going to be doing finals. We're going to be focusing on product semantics and ergonomy.
Okay, so we just had studio and our professor just told us what our new project was, and he hyped it up for weeks. He said it was gonna be so fun, but it's a toilet cleaner, so.
Man, okay, home cleaning products. Okay, I'm gonna do a spray bottle, I think, and this is gonna be the dopest one on the market.
We just got a toilet bowl cleaner as our next project, and I really look forward to kind of different products and looking forward to learning kind of the different aspects of design.
So we just started the research phase, and this is pretty much where you pick your product, look at the history of it, how it's made, how it works, look at some precedents out there, and then at the end of it, then we find some problems that we can take and implement into our own projects in the future.
So during the ideation phase is when we really start sketching and throwing out all the ideas that we have. We start really broad with anything that we can think of, theoretical or not, and then we try to narrow it down to our final concept that we're going to bring to mid-crits.
I try and practice my sketching abilities by doing a sketch a day, whether that reflects something I'm working on or even something out of class, like this little side project I'm doing, which is an issue, but also using that sketch a day to have a little bit of fun with my interest in transportation, footwear, fashion.
So 3D modeling is like the next step into actually getting your design closer to reality, and it's become my favorite part of the design process. So the next step in the design process would be bring it into a rendering software. Here we use Keyshot a lot, which Keyshot helps represent the materials in a very realistic way. Like with the bottle design, we have a lot of plastic, transparent plastic, and some liquids, and it gives you a lot of room to make very realistic renderings for marketing strategies. All right, now that it's rendering, let's go get a snack.
So a typical studio is comprised of about 20 to 25 students with one faculty member per studio. So we're all pretty close-knit. We really get to know our professors on a personal level, and they get to know us and how to help us really become the designer of our own projects and really show our own personal aspects. With a small studio, you also get really close with your classmates, and you go out and play sports at the rec, go out to get breakfast or dinner at the student union or the dining halls. You just really have experience where you really get to know people unlike any other major on the campus.
Right now we're in the shop. We have access to a full metal and woodworking shop, and this is where we spend a lot of time. The major is really hands-on. We make a lot of prototypes for our classes, but we also take 3 different design workshops, and this is where you learn everything that you need to know. You learn how to use all the machinery, and you also get to make some really cool furniture pieces. And we also have access to CNC and plasma cutter machines, and they just help us turn our designs into reality more accurately. And we also have access to the 3D print lab, and this is where we can make really quick and easy prototypes using our computer-generated models, but also make some cool stuff to display on our desks.
So today we have our final presentations. That's when we gather all the work we've done, all our process, our final presentation boards and prototypes, and then we set them all nice in a nice room, and then we present in front of guest critiquers and other professors and faculty that come in. And then they give us their feedback, their pros and cons on our project, and then we can take those their thoughts and adjust it for our portfolios moving forward.
So I'm in the middle of my final presentation right now. It's worth 50% of my grade, but I forgot to practice it last night. And although the crits have good feedback most of the time, it really hurts my ego. And in these final renderings,
I originally chose K-State for engineering, and I really wanted to get into 3D printing, and so I knew that we had a really good engineering program here, and that's why I chose it. I originally didn't even know that we had a architecture program here at K-State, and that was something that a buddy of mine back home told me I should look into, and after Googling it on the K-State website, I found out we actually did have that program. And so it's really cool because I found out that's exactly what I wanted to do and what I thought engineering would be. And then I realized after reading the description of the architecture program here that what I actually wanted to do was be in the architecture program instead of engineering.
Yes, I like the hands-on work and the project-oriented aspect of the program, which means I get to focus a lot on what I'm good at. I love doing model making, and I love doing materials research and other stuff like that, and then being able to dive deep into projects and then make them and actually use them is something I find really exciting.
I originally came to K-State for architecture, but after discovering the ID department and their programs, I really found the hands-on experience really desirable. I really like working with my hands and building objects, and also kind of using my talents with painting, sketching, and all that.
I'm originally from Manhattan, so K-State's always just felt like home to me, kind of like my extended family. I kind of think that I always grew up knowing that I would go to K-State, and so I went to K-State to be close to home, but also because I really enjoyed this program, and it is one of the top programs for design and industrial design, and so I thought it would be a really good path for me to go into this program at K-State, somewhere I'm familiar with, close to home, but also be receiving one of the top educations in the nation.
When I decided on this college, I was a little nervous since I hadn't taken any art classes or any kind of classes like that in high school. So when I first got here, my sketching was not so great. But over the years, with constant practice and kind of focus on sketching, it picks up and you kind of learn your artistic and creative ways. So being able to know that you don't need all of that coming into this college would have been helpful.
One, that it existed. That would have saved me a lot of time. Two, maybe a little bit more background information on what you actually do here, some of the things that you learn, maybe some of the programs that you would learn along the way. I think it'd be kind of helpful to get a jump start on at least some of the Adobe ones prior to coming here, just so I have a better knowledge of it.
Going into the program, I wish I would have not have been so stressed. Just knowing the fact that they're going to teach you everything that you know here is a big crucial tool. Not being too scared starting out in the college experience, especially in studios with other talented students coming from different backgrounds and having their own skills and everything.
Studio is kind of like a job, honestly. A lot of times, especially in the beginning years, I would just go to studio at class at 8 or 8:30 in the morning and then go to my other classes, because most of your classes are going to be in seat in the same building. So it's really easy to go to studio, work, go to your other classes, come back, work for a little bit. And most times I just would spend most of my day in studio working on my stuff, talking to my classmates, kind of messing around sometimes, because it's not all work and there's a lot of play involved. But yeah, I guess studio is more kind of like a job.
Studio is pretty awesome. It's a really like a family environment. I always think of it kind of like a high school classroom. I oftentimes don't say that though to people, because people have bad experiences in high school, but I really enjoy it. You really get to know everybody in your class, and especially your professors, which is something really cool too. And it just seems like a really fun and friendly environment that you can go. It is a little bit boring with all the whites and stuff, but we usually decorate it with our desks and having just fun things dotted around here and there.
I think studio life is fun. I like the social aspect of it. I think when I'm starting to feel really tired or really like there's too much on my plate, I know that at least I'm suffering with my friends at my side, so it does help.
The environment in studio is very similar to what it will be like in the future workplace. Being able to collab with all my students and my professors and have face-to-face talks with them, and being able to discuss different design aspects and how to improve my designs.
I think my most fun memory here at K-State was probably towards the end of the furniture design studio that we had. We spent all semester working and developing our skills and techniques to do woodworking and metalworking, applications to design furniture. And one thing that I thought was fun was just finishing off my table that I've been working on all semester long, and then seeing my peers also finish off their design and seeing it all come together. I thought that was pretty fun and a very rewarding experience.
As much as I don't like staying up all night, it was fun staying up in studio first year and getting to meet new people and really bond over the common suffering of having to pull an all-nighter.
I think one of my favorite memories in studio was my second year studio. And we were in production week, so we had our project due soon, and we were in the studio a lot that week. And we decided to throw up on the big TV. We just had some movies going on, and we were all just kind of watching it as students, but all kind of working on our projects, but also just kind of like hanging out. And that was a fun Saturday, and it ended up being pretty productive. So.
First semester studio was probably one of my favorite studios. A lot of my favorite memories come from that very first semester here at K-State. Just because the professor, we all really got along well. She taught us so much, but also just the people in my studio, we all really meshed well and we all got along together. And so one time I was in Aggieville in Acme, and they have these little tiny statues or like figurines of different animals. And so I got a bunch of them, and I went around and I would randomly place them on people's desks, and it was kind of like an ongoing joke. Nobody knew where they were coming from, and everyone was freaking out. They all thought that it was this other kid in my class, Jay, that was doing it. And so then my teacher actually got really excited about it, and she really was intrigued and wanted to know who it was. So we kind of drug it on throughout the semester, and then for her birthday, I bought a whole bunch of the little animal figurines, and we placed them around the table with a bunch of Jolly Ranchers and kind of surprised her, and I revealed that it was me, and everybody was really surprised and shocked that it was me. And so then the animal figurines kind of became a staple or a representation of our studio and got passed around throughout the rest of the semester. But that's probably one of my favorite memories from the studio.